Hello everyone, welcome to Solo Survivor. আজি APSC Combined Competitive Preliminary 2026 Examinationer General Studies Paper 1 mock test number 10 হ'বলৈ গৈ আছে আৰু ইয়াতে কেইটা পেজ আছে টোটাল বোধহয় 38 পেজ আছে ওকে কিমান সময়ত পাৰো কমপ্লিট কৰিব চাও আৰু মাৰ্কছখিনি মই লিখি ৰাখিম কিমান পাও কিমান নাপাও So let's start from question number 1. Consider the following statements regarding the POSA system in medieval Assam. It was a formal arrangement where the Ahom government allowed certain hill tribes to collect specific items from the plains for gain exchange for peace. Yes. It হ'ব পাৰে সাৰ্ভিসও দিছিলে আৰু কিছুমান এক্সচেঞ্জও কৰিছিলে কিছুমান আইটেম and item exchange মানে to exchange হয় but মানে দিছিলে আৰু বেছিকে না হিল ট্ৰাইবছ বিলাকক the system was strictly a military tribute paid by the Ahoms to prevent invasions from the Naga and Bhutia tribes. Naga Bhutia এটোতো Naga Bhutia তো হ'ব পাৰে নাজানো কিন্তু মিকিৰ মটক সেইবিলাকে পাইছিলো মই হিলছ ট্ৰাইব বিলাক to prevent prevent কৰিব invasion from Naga বিলাকো পাহাৰত থাকে যেনিবা ভুটিয়াও থাকে হ'ব পাৰে দেই নাগা ওচৰতে আছে সো এইটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে The British administration eventually abolished POSA and replaced it with a monthly political pension. এইটোতো নাজানো ভাই কিন্তু এফাৰ্মেটিভ হোৱা যেন লাগি আছে বস্তুখিনি গোটেইখিনি কাৰেক্ট কাৰণ ব্ৰিটিছে মানে POSA system abolish কৰিছিলে with a monthly political pension. Political pension দিছিলে নেকি I don't think so এটো হ'ব না লাগে পেনশন দিছিলে নেকি ব্ৰিটিছে হিলছ ট্ৰাইব বিলাকক হ'ব না লাগে so 1 and 2 should be correct only এটোই দি দিও 1 and 3 correct বলে ho mistake হৈ থাকিলে কোনে মানে 2 বলে incorrect হল it is the system was strictly a military tribute paid by the এতে strictly কৈছে strictly to military tribute to নহয় okay কিন্তু 3 to হয় বলে মানে ব্ৰিটিছে abolish কৰিছিলে POSA system to আৰু monthly political pension দিছিলে হিলছ ট্ৰাইব বিলাকক POSA was a payment in kind rice cloth fees to maintain border peace exchange type asile payment type asile kintu labor eneko asile sun A2 is incorrect because it was not as just a military tribute but a socio-economic arrangement to stop raids এটো strictly দিছে military tribute হয় but strictly word to মানে বস্তু মানে only বুঝে ন হেতৰ কাৰণে মাত্ৰ নহয় Okay, to incorrect the British found the collection of POSA by tribesmen problematic and committed it to cash payments. POSA problematic মানে যেটো system আসলে এটো অলপ complicated আসলে problematic so ইহতে payments ব্যৱস্থা কৰি দিছিলে cash Question number 2 with reference to the Cabinet Mission Plan 1946, which of the following statements are correct? Cabinet Mission Plan. It recommended a loose three-tier confederation for India. It proposed that the provinces be grouped into 3 sections. Cabinet Mission Plan to কি আসলে? It initially rejected the demand for a separate sovereign state of Pakistan. এটো মই নাজানো দে কিবা আসলে It recommended a loose three-tier confederation for India. It proposed that the provinces be grouped into 3 sections. It initially rejected the demand for a separate sovereign state of Pakistan. Cabinet mission এইটো হ'ব লাগে দে it recommended a loose three-tier confederation. এইটো গোটেইকেইটা হ'ব লাগে কাৰণ ফাৰ্ষ্ট টাইম হৈ আছে ন তিনিটা গ্ৰুপত হৈছে ফাৰ্ষ্ট মানে লুজ আছিলে আৰু ফাৰ্ষ্টতে মানে ছেপাৰেট পাকিস্তান বিচৰা নাছিলে এইটো হ'ব লাগে অল শুড বি কাৰেক্ট যিটো কাৰেক্ট হৈ থাকিলে The mission proposed a weak center with powers only over defense, foreign affairs, and communications. Group C, B, and C were Muslim majority areas, while Group A was Hindu majority. This was done to accommodate the Muslim League without a formal partition, which is why it initially rejected the Pakistan demand. In the context of the Dahala Khagrabari enclaves, which recently became a part of history, consider the following. Dahala Khagrabari enclaves. History consider these were the world's only third order enclaves located on the Indo-Bangladesh border. Dahala Khagrabari to enclave এটা হৈছিলে ন world's third order enclaves located on the Indo-Bangladesh border. The resolution of this issue was achieved through the 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. 100th Constitutional Amendment Act'ৰ resolution কৰিছিলে The exchange was based on the Land Boundary Agreement 1974 of 1974. Land Boundary Agreement কেতিয়া কৰিছিলে 74ত কৰিছিল নেকি তো নাজানো ভাই was based on the Land Boundary Agreement. These were the world's only third order enclaves located on the Indo-Bangladesh border. Third order enclaves located on the Indo. I don't know. The resolution of this issue was issued through 100th Constitutional Amendment. The exchange was based on the Land Boundary Agreement 1974. এইটোতো বস্তুখিনি ৰিলেভেণ্ট হয় World's third order Bangladesh border. The resolution of this issue was issued through the 100th Constitutional Amendment Act. 100th Constitutional Amendment Act'ত কি আছে মই তাকে The exchange was based on the Land Boundary Agreement. Land Boundary Agreement. কি দিম কি নিদিম লাগি আছে তো ভালকৈ নাজানো চ' ডিটোৱে দি দিওঁ হ'লে হ'ল নহ'লে নাই ডিটোৱে কাৰেক্ট হৈ থাকিলে ডিট মানে বেছি পচন্দ কৰে নেকি Dahala Khagrabari was a piece of India. Oh, India side আছিলে ন inside a piece of Bangladesh. Oh, Dahala Khagrabari বাংলাদেশৰ ভিতৰত আছে যেনেকৈ কিন্তু ইণ্ডিয়াৰে আৰু inside a piece of India inside Bangladesh. Oh, inside Bangladesh. বাংলাদেশৰ ভিতৰতে ইণ্ডিয়া আছে The 100th Amendment 2015ত হৈছিলে gave effect to the 1974 এইটো কেতিয়া Land Boundary Agreement to 1974 Land Boundary Agreement to exchange these enclaves for better border management. Okay. The Eka movement, unity movement of 1921, which surfaced in the United Provinces, was primarily concerned with Eka movement, unity movement of 1921, which surfaced in the United Provinces was primarily concerned with high rents and the practice of Nasrana extractions. Eka movement, Unity movement, 1921, or United Provinces was primarily concerned with high rents and the practice of Nasrana extractions, the conversion of tribal people to Christianity. Eka movement, demanding a separate state for the Dalit community. Demanding a separate state suppressed in the United Provinces. Demanding a separate state for the Dalit community was primarily concerned Kuntur Karne primary Eka movement, total boycott of non-cooperation movement. এইটোতো boycott নহ'ব নন কপাৰেশ্যন মুভমেণ্টটো boycott কৰাৰ কথা নহয় which surfaced the United Provinces is primarily concerned with the Dalit community United Provinces, that is conversion of tribal people to Christianity, high rents and the practice of Nazarana. Unity total boycott of demanding a separate state for Dalit community. Tribal people to Christianity. Extractions. High rents in the practice of Nazarana. The number of the people separate state boycott Dolitor karne separate that is one. Yes, one is the correct answer. ইমান সময় লাগিল ভাবি উলিয়াবৰ কাৰণে the Eka movement was a peasant movement in Awad. Peasant movement is the high rent arana practice of Nazarana. UP Awad UP was triggered by high rents exceeding 50% of recorded rent and the operation of ticketters who extracted illegal. Yes, okay. Because the full statements about Article 356 of the Indian Constitution, a proclamation of Article 356 to give us Article 364. Amendment. Proclamation of President's rule must be approved by both houses within 1 month for the last issue. If approved, it continues for 6 months and can be extended for a maximum period of 3 years with periodic approvals. Every resolution approved and the person for it or its continuation can be passed by either house only by a special majority. Article 56. Article 56, a proclamation of President's rule must be approved by both houses. President's rule approved by both houses of Parliament within 1 month from the date of issue. It hope like if approved, it continues for 6 months and can be extended for a maximum period of 3 years with politic approvals. Yes, this is also correct. President's rule to এইটো 6 monthsলৈকে থাকে এইটো হ'ব লাগে. It continues for 6 months or 3 months. হ'ব নিচিনা লাগি আছে. Every resolution approving the proclamation or its continuation and be passed by either house approving the proclamation of continuation can be passed by either house only by a special majority. Itu হ'ব লাগে গোটেইকেইটা হ'ব লাগে only two হে correct হ'ল only two correct বোলে কেনেকৈ only two correct হ'ল সেইটো নিগেটিভ ন 356 no one is incorrect because the approval period is 2 months এটা কি দিছিলে 1 month দিছিলে ন approval period বোলে 2 months থাকে মানে প্ৰেচিডেন্টছ ৰুলৰ not 1 month unlike a national emergency national emergency এক মাহ কিন্তু যেটো প্ৰেচিডেন্টছ ৰুল হয় তেতিয়াহ'লে 2 মাহ approval period 3 is incorrect because it requires only a simple majority not a special majority okay that is passed by either house or proclamation to pass over again a resolution approving the proclamation but that is by a simple majority if approved it continues for 6 months 6 months later and it can be extended up to 3 years with periodic intervals as a interval take money interval to know periodic approvals separate kino okay Mulagabhru a legendary figure in Assam history died fighting against West invader that is Turbok Mulagabhru Turbok Khan that is B Mulagapur was the French Borgohai, who after her husband was killed by Bengal Turbok Khan in 1532. She took arms and died in battlefield fighting his forces. That is 1532 Maurice. Which of the following best describes the golden quadrilateral of the Indian economy of the 19th century? The four major ports, Bombay, Kolkata, Madras. Oh, sorry, it is Jeneva. It answer to like I'm so sorry for that, but it is in Indian economy. The trend of wealth through home surges or interest, salaries, and profits. The four major railway, golden quadrilateral. The railway to know connect lines connecting the metro. None of the above. To golden quadrilateral of the Indian economy. To get a city as no, sorry, Kolkata, Madras, Chennai, Kolkata, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai. To Bombay, Kolkata, Madras, Surat to know Delhi has it. To know the drain of wealth through home surges, interest, salaries, and profits. The four major railway lines connecting the metros. To know এতে হয় দুটা হ'ব নহ'লে চাৰিটা so I'll go for obviously I will go for the drain of wealth through home sources interest salaries and profits and that was the correct answer the drain of wealth through home sources interest salaries and profits in the context of the drain theory by Dadafan Nauroji the golden quadrilateral of exploitation often refers to the four channels through which wealth was siphoned home charges interest on public debt military expenses and private remittances question 8 with reference to constitutional morality it is explicitly defined in part 3 of the constitution constitutional morality part 3 define part 3 to ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ আছে এক্সপ্লিচিটলি ডিফাইন টু এক্সপ্লিচিট আছে ন এইটোতো কনষ্টিটিউশ্যনেল মৰেলিটিটো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ হয় তেনেকৈতো এনেকুৱা কোনো ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইট নাই চ' এইটো নহ'ব it implies that the government should be bound by the spirit of the constitution not just its text constitutional morality government should be by the spirit of the constitution not just its text এইটো হ'ব পাৰে The Supreme Court invoked this doctrine in the Sabarimala case. It over 2 and 3 could be correct. So B. Yes, B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer. Constitutional morality is a judicial innovation and is not defined anywhere in the text of the Constitution. Koto likha nai. Constitutional morality boli koto likha nai. Match the following such types of their characteristics. To Nikamul such types and characteristics Nikamul. No female entry celibacy. No female entry. Ito such type mo nazono. No female entry. Ito which of the curriculum matching? Ito mero. Nikamul Purusa that is kala. Focus on Brahmanical rituals. Emphasis on egalitarianism, tribal inclusion. That is Brahmanical rituals. That is Nikamul Hobonage. Purusa, no female entry, celibacy, and Kala emphasis on egalitarianism, tribal. That is one should be B. 1B, 2A. 1B, 2A. 1B, 2A. 1B, 2A, that is B. Ito correct asile. 1A, 2B, 2, 3C. Ito ভুল হৈ থাকিলে. Ito Nikamul mane no female entry. That is Nikamul. That is celibacy, no? Purusa, that is focus on Brahmanical rituals. Kala, emphasis on egalitarianism, tribal inclusion. The different samhadis, subsects of Mahapurushya Dharma have distinct styles. The Kala Samhati, that is Mahamurya. Kala Samhati Mahamurya was known for its egalitarian approach and massive tribal following. Okay, Purusa asile. Ki asile ro pahari thakilo. Nikamul to celibacy, no female entry, celibacy. Brahmanical rituals asile. Focus on Brahmanical rituals, that is Purusa, and Kala was the tribal inclusion or egalitarianism. Emphasis on egalitarianism. Zero coupon bonds were recently in the news in India regarding finalizing the of the social actions. Finding of the bullet train project, recapitalization of public sector banks. Kuntu hobo zero coupon bonds were recently in news. Zero coupon bonds. Finalization of the social stock actions. Finding of the bullet train project. Ito to know. Recapitalization of public sector banks. Agricultural loan waivers. Financing the stock actions. Financing of the stock actions. Social stock actions. Zero coupon bonds. social stock recapitalization of public sector banks. Mm, 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 mm. Mhm. Zero coupon bonds financial of some of the zero coupon stock exchange. One three bonds, that is recapitalization of public sector banks. Ito one habo. Yes, one correct. There is zero coupon bonds, that is financing of the social stock exchange. That is zero coupon, zero coupon, zero principal instruments were introduced to allow social enterprises to raise funds through the social stock exchange. They don't pay interest and don't return the principal, acting effectively as a donation. Regarding the Borfukon office, the administrative structure, Borfukon no. The office was created by King Pratap Singha to govern the territories west of Kolabar Ituhoe. The Borfukon had the power to pass a death sentence without the king's prior approval. I don't think this is correct, or maybe correct. Oh, correct hobo. Karon Lasit Borfukon যেহেতু মুম্বাই কোক মাৰিছিলে, Lasit Borfukon was the first person to ever hold this prestigious office. Lasit Borfukon to প্ৰথম Borfukon নহয়, পানী এইটোতো নহয়, 1 and 2 are correct. Only one দিছে no? The Borfukon had the power to pass a death sentence within the king's prior approval. এইটোতো হ'ব নালাগে. Only one correct হ'ব নেকি? হ'ব পাৰে, পাৰিব পাৰে, Borfukonৰ ওপৰত থাকিব পাৰে. No, নাথাকিব, থাকিব বি নাই, চৰি, লাচিত মানে বৰফুকনৰ হেৰি কৰাৰ পাৱাৰ নাই. While the Borfukon had immense power, the power of capital punishment was strictly reserved for the sovereign king. Lani Panisia, Lani Panisia Borfukon was the first Borfukon, not Lasit. Okay, with reference to equal protection of laws under Article 14, consider the following. Equal protection of laws under Article 14. Okay, it is a negative concept borrowed from the British Constitution. Equal protection of laws can cover negative concept of it. It implies the right to equality of treatment under equal circumstances. Protection of law implies the right to equality of treatment under equal circumstances. সবকে সমান ব্যৱহাৰ কৰে নেকি ন? এইটো হ'ব, it prohibits class legislation, but permits reasonable classification. Article 14 to হবে, prohibits class legislation. Class legislation to prohibit করে, but permits reasonable classification. হ'ব পাৰে. 2 and 3 can be correct. 2 and 3 can be correct, but they cannot be correct. 2 and 3 হ'ব এইটো. B হ'ব. Yes, B is the correct answer. Equality before law is a British negative concept. Wow. Oh, equal protection of law is a positive concept. Oh, borrowed from the US Constitution. It is positive, no? So, US surprise equal protection of law from USA. Legal interpretations of the doctrine. Okay. Dandua draw, that is 1799. Dandua draw 1799 হৈছিলে. Income group was primarily directed against the oppressive rule of the Ahom Viceroy Bodon Borfukon. Bodon Chandra Borfukon's oppressive the misrule of the Ahom Viceroy Bodon Chandra's predecessor Horato Pujar Borua. The religious persecution by the Memorial rebels. The administrative mismanagement of Borfukon and the Dumdumias mercenaries. Itu religious persecution by the Memorial rebel হ'ব লাগে Tundua draw to oppressive rule Ahom Viceroy. Misrule of Ahom Viceroy Bodon Chandra. It is 3 হ'ব লাগে 3. The administrative mismanagement of the Borfukon and the Dumdumias Sikh mercenaries. To politically no. Tunda draw to কিহৰ কাৰণে হৈছিলে administrative mismanagement of Borfukon Bodon Chandra হ'ব পাৰে and the Dumdumias Sikh mercenaries. Led by Hordotto and Birdotto. Tunda draw Hordotto or Birdotto to হেৰি কৰিছিলে. Tunda draw was a revolt in Kamrup against the Ahom Borfukon's administration. Tunda draw, that is Hordotto and Birdotto in Kamrup. The revolt. The Ahom Borfukon's administration and the atrocity is committed by the Hindustani Sikh mercenaries. Hindustani Sikh mercenary anisile. Dumdumias employed by the state. Para fighter warrior no. In the context of modern Indian history, the Ilbert Bill controversy 1883 was related to Ilbert Bill 1883. The suppression of the vernacular press by the British, the removal of racial disqualifications with legal regard to the jurisdiction of courts, the imposition of high import duties on British cotton goods, the entry of Indians into the higher civil services. 1883 Ilbert Bill 1883 suppression of the vernacular press. The removal of racial disqualifications with regard to the jurisdiction of courts. Racial disqualifications with regard to the jurisdiction of courts. The imposition of high import duties on British cotton goods. The entry of Indians into the high Ilbert Bill itu to নহব two হ'ব 2 yes 2 B is the correct answer. There was a removal of racial disqualifications with regard to the jurisdiction of courts. They will also to allow Indian district magistrates and session judges to try Europeans in criminal cases. It was fiercely opposed by the European community in India to its eventual dilution. Consider the following statements regarding Office of Profit in India. The term Office of Profit is explicitly defined in Article 102 of the Indian Constitution. Office of Profit. Office of Profit is explicitly defined in Article 102. The final decision on whether member has incurred disqualification under this rests with the president. Before taking a decision, the president must obtain the opinion of the election commission and act according to it. Decision officer profit to 2 and 3 হ'ব লাগে 2 and 3 হ'ব লাগে 2 and 3 yes কাৰেক্ট হৈছে মই কিহৰ কাৰণে প্ৰথমটো হেৰি কৰিছোঁ মানে এক্সপ্লিচিট ৱৰ্ডটোৰ কাৰণে বাকী যিয়ে হওক বা নহওক জানক বা নাজানক the constitution mentions the term but does not define it ডিফাইন কৰা নাছিলে এক্সপ্লিচিটলি ডিফাইন্স কৰিছে ন তাতে আছে 102 প্ৰফিট অফ অফিচাৰ এইটো but define কৰা নাছিলে definitions come from various courts judgments statement 2 and 3 are correct according to article 103 The Battle of Mehgar 1822 is significant in Assam history because it was the final victory of the Ahams over the Mughals. It marked the decisive defeat of the Assamese forces by the Burmese, leading to the collapse of Aham sovereignty. It was the first time the British fought alongside the Ahams. Mehergarhত এইটো নহয় এইটো 2018-24 হৈছিলে It led to the installation of Purandar Singh as a vassal king into Nohoi. So it marked Mehergarh to decisive defeat of Assamese forces by the Burmese to 2. So yes, 2 is the correct answer. That is Mehergarh, that is 1822. Fought between the Burmese and the Assamese forces led by Chandrakanta Singh Hasle. The defeat at Mehergarh effectively ended Ahom resistance and paved the way for total Burmese occupation until 1826 বেছি সময় নাছিলে আৰু ন 1822 পৰা 2026 কিমান বছৰ 4 বছৰ মাত্ৰ আছিলে তাকো শান্তিত নাছিলে Burmese with reference to the Sarkari Commission recommendations consider the following the governor should be an eminent person from outside the state Sarkari Commissioner মতে ন governor should be an eminent person from outside the state State outside হ'ব পাৰে but Article 356 should be used very sparingly as a matter of last resort. 356 should be used very sparingly. Matter of last resort. It very sparingly বুলি দিছে ন এইটো ৱৰ্ডৰ কাৰণে I will negate this one. এইটো হ'ব পাৰে প্ৰথমটো The 3 language formula should be strictly implemented. এইটো মই accept নকৰোঁ strictly wordৰ কাৰণে so only one নেকি Sarkar Commission the governor should be an eminent person from outside the state let's go for this 1 to correct হ'ব পাৰে should be used very sparingly as a matter of last resort at a time of last question no এইটো 1 and 2 হ'ব 3 to নহয় 1 and 2 1 and 2A all of them are correct so more it ভুল হৈ থাকিলে and 3 language formula should be strictly implemented okay The Sarkar Commission that is 1983 dealt with central state relations all the 3 points were key recommendations aimed at strengthening federalism and national integration Which of the following best describes liquidity trap in an economy? A situation where the inflation rate is so high that people stop saving money. A situation where people the inflation rate is so high, stop saving money. Liquidity trap itu no hai. The situation where interest rates are so low that people prefer to hold cash rather than invest. Where interest rates are so. Mhm. When the government spends more than its revenue, they tend to hide it. When a country's exports are significantly lower than its imports, exports are lower than imports. Liquidity trap when liquidity. When the government spends more than its revenue, spends more than its revenue to hide it. I don't think this is the correct one. This is where interest rates are so low. People prefer to hold cash rather than invest. Liquidity. This is where the inflation rate is so high. People stop saving. Oh, sorry, itu answer to ahi gise no. Interest rate so low that people prefer to hold cash rather than invest. This was two, but I I took it to be negative. So negative राखिलो মই. That is what the liquidity trap money getting a situation. Liquidity trap a situation real town no, where interest rates are so low that the people prefer to hold cash rather than invest or liquidity no. In a liquidity trap, monetary policy becomes ineffective. Yes, ineffective wage policy. Monetary to circulation noise and ineffective. Because even with low interest rates, consumers and investors do not spend or invest due to expectations of adverse events. Events preferring due to adverse events preferring the safety of cash. Okay, Malansa 1940 and Dower 1938 were prominent journals associated with which movement in Assam. Malansa and Dower, the non-cooperation movement, progressive literary movement, modernism, the tribal rights movement, separate statehood movement. Itu tuh tribal literary rights like Malansa and Dower. That is three did you? The progressive literary movement. It's a politically progressive literary movement. These journals were crucial in introducing modernism and Marxist thought into Assamese literature, breaking out from the romanticism of the Zunaki era. The Malansa and Dower. Okay. Malansa and Dower. জাৰ্নেলৰ কথা কৈছে মই পঢ়াই নাই ভালকৈ তো লিটাৰেৰী হ'ব ন জাৰ্নেলৰ কাহিনীটো Malansa and Dower. Consider the following pairs of Buddhist councils and their patrons. Buddhist council or patron. First council to Ojatsutrу is no, itu হ'ব লাগে তো. Second council Kalasoka হ'ব লাগে. Third that is Asoka. Fourth that is Kanishka. Yes, this is correct. Correct. All these are correct. All these are D. Yes, these. Ojatsutrু প্ৰথম পিছত Kalasoka পিছত Asoka then Kanishka. First was at Rasgir. First Buddhist council at Rasgir by Ojatsutrü, second Vaishali by Kalasaka, and third Pataliputra by Asaka, and last in somewhere Srinagar or Srinagar, Kashmir, fourth. By whom? By Kanishka. With reference to the physiology of Assam, consider the following statements. The Karbi Anglong at the Mahaso Hills are geologically part of the Himalayan. No, ito no hai, correct no hai. The Kopili Fault is a major seismically active zone separating the Shillong Plateau from the Karbi Plateau. Kopili Fault, ito hai, Shillong Plateau and Karbi Plateau. Yes, this is correct. and মানে কি ক'ব তাক ভূমিকম্প প্ৰৱণতা ন seismically active zone. The Abor Hills and Mismi Hills are part of the Trans Himalayas. Mismi Hills, Mismi Arunachal, no? Abor Hills. এইটো correct হ'ব. 2 and 3 are correct. So 2 and 3 C. Ho. 3 to correct নহয়. Sorry. আবৰ কোনটো মিচমিটো অৰুণাচলৰে হ'ব লাগে। অৰুণাচল হ'লেতো হিমালয় নহয়। ট্ৰান্স হিমালয়ান মিচমি মিজোৰামৰ হ'ব নেকি নে মণিপুৰ? Okay, let's check. Karbi Dimasao, এইটোতো হয় extension of the peninsula shield Deccan Plateau. That is Kopili is a major fault of tectonic fissure, yes. And those hills are part of Eastern Himalayas. Eastern Himalayas are হয় বোলে. Not the Trans Himalayas, where the Great Himalaya. West lie. Oh, not of the Great Himalayas. Trans Himalaya to বোলে Great Himalaya, not of the Himalayas. Not of the Great Himalayas. Great Himalaya, which is the Trans Himalaya. সিফালে মানে নৰ্থ ছাইডত পিছফালে আৰু এইটো মিচমি হিলছ আৰু আবৰ হিলছবিলাকত ইষ্টাৰ্ণ হিমালয়াছে পৰে। হো ট্ৰান্স হিমালয়া ইষ্টাৰ্ণ হিমালয়া বুলিও কথা আছে ন। এনেকৈ নিগেটিভ হৈ গ'ল বহুতকেইটা। Which of the following statements regarding Buddhism and Jainism are correct? What religions recited the authority of the Vedas and the efficacy of rituals? Buddhism and Jainism rejected the authority of the Vedas. Yes, Vedas and the efficacy of বেদাৰ সেইটোতো একচেপ্ট কৰা নাছিলে ন, হ'ব লাগে এইটো হয়নে? হয়। While Buddhism believed in the middle path, Jainism advocated for extreme penance and self-mortification. এইটো হ'ব লাগে। The both religions believed that nirvana could only be attained after death. I do not know. Which of them should be correct? I did do 1 and 2 only. 3 to incorrect থাকিলে মানে নিৰ্বাণাটো আফটাৰ ডেট এইটো দুটা হেৰি কৰা নাছিলে, একচেপ্ট কৰা নাছিলে। অ'কে 1 and 2 are core differences and similarities. Statement 3 is incorrect. Buddhism teaches nirvana, extinction of desire, can be achieved during one's lifetime. Nirvana lifetime হয়তো গৌতম বুদ্ধটো নিৰ্বাণা পাইছিলে জীৱনকালতে। And Jainism believes moksha involves the soul. Nirvana কেতিয়া পাব? Jainism মতে after death. The Maumri rebellion led to a significant change in the home military structure. Which of the following was a result of this? Maumri rebellion, complete abolition of pike. Maumri rebellion and what? It will be like the introduction of a standing army consisting of paid Hindustani and local. The total surrender of Ahom territory to the Burmese, the creation of the post of Borbora. The Maumri rebellion led to a significant change in the Ahom military structure. Ahmad কি চেঞ্জ কৰিছিলে ন? The result of this Maumri rebellion পিছত the complete evolution of pike system হৈ গৈছে নেকি? Pike system ব্ৰিটিছে এবলিছ কৰিছিলে। The introduction of a standing army consisting of paid Hindustani and local soldiers. এইটোতো Maumri rebellion পিছত standing Hindustani army and local soldiers. Post Borbora এইটো হ'ব 2 হ'ব। Yes 2 মানে Maumri rebellion পিছত কি standing army পাণ্ডাইছে মানে Hindustani and local soldiers. Before the rebellion, Hamsuri relied on the pike system militia. The militia pike system অলপ sacrifice কৰাৰ কি ন pike system devastation of the rebellion showed that the pikes were no longer reliable or effective, leading the king to create a small standing army of mercenaries to maintain order. Concept following statements regarding orchid diversity in Assam. Okay. Assam is home to nearly 40% of India's orchid species. I think correct. The Kopupul that is Rhenco stylus retusa, is the state flower of Assam and is an epiphytic orchid. Epiphytic হ'ব লাগে ফাইট মানে প্লান এপি মানে পৰাশ্ৰয়ী ন সেনেকুৱা হ'ব কাজিৰঙা নেশ্যনেল পাৰ্ক হাউচেছ এণ্ড অৰ্কিড এণ্ড বায়'ডাইভাৰ্চিটি পাৰ্ক which is the largest in North East India. এইটো হয় অখিল গগৈৰ নামতে আছে বোধহয় ন অখিল গগৈ হেৰি কৰিছে এইটো all of this can be correct. That is the yes, this is the correct 40% all in orchid species আসামত পোৱা যায় ন Rhenco stylus retusa. Kobo scientific name. Assam's tropical climate is ideal for orchids. The Kobo is deeply rooted in Bihu culture. The orchid park at Kaziranga is a major conservation hub for indigenous species. Okay. With reference to the Legislative Council, Bidhan Parishad of a state, which of the following is correct? Bidhan Parishad. Matro Soikhan state no? The creation of or abolition of a council requires a constitutional amendment under Article 368. Creation or abolition করবার কারণে কি constitutional amendment লাগে নাকি I don't think লাগে এটাতো নালাগে নহ'ব তো legislative council এটা establish করবার কারণে constitutional amendment লাগিব নেকি I don't know. So এখন ষ্টেটতো আছে সেইটো জানো the council was has equal powers with the assembly regarding the passage of ordinary bills. Ordinary bills ক্ষেত্ৰতো দুটা council has equal power. নাজানো হ'ব পাৰে এইটো correct. If the assembly rejects the amendments, council legislative rejects the amendments, suggested by the council, the council can delay the bill for 4 months. Oh sorry, এইটো কেনেকৈ এইটোতো মোৰ ভুল হ'লহেঁতেন দেই এইটো মোৰ ভুল হ'লহেঁতেন কাৰণ এইটো 3 নম্বৰ কাৰেক্ট আনচাৰ দি দিছে অলৰেডি এইটো legislative councilটো বোলে if the which is the correct question no if the assembly rejects the amendments suggested by the council can delay the bill for a maximum of 4 months. Okay. It is done under Article 169, not deemed an amendment under 368. Okay, I don't know why. Statement to encourage the assembly is far more powerful. Assembly far more powerful than the council. Okay, 3 to correct. The council can delay appeal for 3 months in the first instance and 1 month in the second instance. Okay. The Hajo Pawi. Satu dekhanai de moi. Sonai. Hajo Pawi and Deolangkhoi. Deolangkhoi Ritasudhuri are historical sources associated with which ethnic community of Assam? That is Deolangkhoi to হেৰিৰ হয় ন এতে তিৱা হয় তিৱা হ'লেতো দুটা হ'ব দুটা এটাই হ'ব ন so 3 is the correct answer Hajo Pawi. Yes, 3 is the correct answer. Deolangkhoi Ritasudhuri Deolangkhoi আছে লালং ৰজা কিবা কৈ কি নাম আছিলে সুশাংক কিবা কিবি সেনেকুৱা কি মহিৰংগ নহয় কি নাম আছিলে পাহৰি থাকিলোঁ কুৰাংক সেনেকুৱা these are traditional ceremonial and war swords that is Hasupawi and Deolankhoi war swords the Tiwa community Deolankhoi many divine sword Deolankhoi means divine sword is also the title of famous Sahitya Academy Award winning novel by Rita Sudri based on Tiva history. Regarding the Vardhana dynasty, Harshavardhana caused the following statements. Harsha shifted his capital from Thanesar to Kunnush. How about it? He was defeated by the Salukya king Pulakesin to Harshavardhana and Pulakesin to Hoipai on the banks of the Narmada. How about it? He wrote 3 plays in Sanskrit, Ratnavali, Priyadarshika, and Nagananda. Priyadashi to আমি কাক কৈছিলোঁ আকবৰক জানিছিলোঁ নে অশোকা আছিলে প্ৰিয়দৰ্শী আকবৰ আছিলে অশোকা নহয় সংস্কৃতত তিনিটা কেইটা ওলাইছে ৰত্নাৱলী প্ৰিয়দৰ্শিকা এণ্ড নাগানন্দা হ'ব পাৰে দেই থানেশ্বৰৰ পৰা কোনো য'ত চিফ্ট কৰিছিলে হৰ্ষবৰ্ধন died in the hands of Pulakesin II. Correct hobo goteikeita correct D. Yes, this is the correct answer. Ostaments are historically accurate. Harsha's defeat by Pulakesin II recorded in the Aihol inscription is a crucial turning point that stopped his certain expansion, that is Thanesor পৰা কোনো য'ত capital expand কৰিছিলে shift কৰিছিলে in the context of environment what is the art overshoot kite art overshoot I don't know the day where the sun is directly over the equator the day when the sun is directly over the equator the date when human need is deemed for ecological resources in a given year exceeds what Earth can regenerate in that year. The overshoot day. The day when the global temperature rises 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. The anniversary of the signing of the Paris Agreement. The day humanity is deemed for ecological resources in a given year exceeds what Earth can regenerate in that year. What overshoot day? To be হ'ব লাগে 2 হ'ব লাগে yes 2 is the correct answer মানে কি যেতিয়া ইকোলজিক্যাল যিখিনি মানে ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট ৰিচোৰ্চ এইবিলাক ডিগ্ৰেড হয় বস্তুবিলাক what art can regenerate in that year ডিগ্ৰেড হয় সেইটো the dead সেইটো dead মানে হেৰি কয় না কি the dead when humanity's demand for ecological resource যিটো লাগে ecological resource in a given year exceeds পাৰ হৈ যায় ন exceeds the art can generate calculated by the global footprint network this day marks when we start living on credit the planet's surface resources এইটো কি আছে the Assamia ভাষা উন্নতি হাতেনি সভা 1888 was formed in which city অসমীয়া ভাষা উন্নতি হাতেনি সভা এইটো শিৱসাগৰত হৈছিলে ন কেলকাতাতো হ'ব নালাগে কেলকাতাতে যেন লাগি আছে অসমীয়া ভাষা উন্নতি সাধনী সভা উন্নতি না অসমীয়া ভাষা উন্নয়ন এতিয়া শিৱসাগৰ কলকাতা শিৱসাগৰে হ'ব লাগে শিৱসাগৰ দি দিওঁ কেলকাতাতে হৈছিলে কেলকাতাতে না ফিল হৈ আছিলে বাট অ'কে It formed by Assamese students in Kolkata led by Hemchandra Goswami, Lakshmanath Besura, Kanaklal Burua, Hemchandra Goswami, Lakshmanath Besura, Kanaklal Burua to restore the prestige of the Assamese language and literature. মানে কেলকাতাতে হেৰি কৰিছিলে ষ্টুডেণ্ট আছিলে অসমীয়া ভাষা উন্নতি সাধনী সভা উন্নতি সাধনী সভা Which of the following factors leads to cost push inflation? Which of the following factors leads to cost push inflation? Increase in government spending, reduction in indirect taxes. Cost push inflation, increase in government spending, reduction in indirect taxes, increase in the global prices of crude oil. Expansion monetary policy. It A hobo. 3 will increase in the global prices of crude oil. বহুত মানে high quality question আছিলে cost push inflation এটা increase in the global prices of crude oil. Okay. Cost push inflation occurs when the cost of production increases, like raw materials or wages. Cost of production increases. Crude oil is a universal input. Its price hike increases transport and manufacturing costs, pushing overall prices up. Was 3 increase in global prices of crude oil. Okay. Cost push inflation. Crude oil price really it is cost push inflation. Consider the following pairs of mountain passes: Jojila Pass, Srinagar, and Leh. Correct. Sipkila, Himachal Pradesh, and Tibet. Correct. Nathula, that is Sikkim, and Difu Pass, Difu, Arunachal Pradesh, and Myanmar. Difu to Arunachal, no. Difu. Kabrang Difu, it 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3A. Difu is a Difu Pass, Arunachal and Myanmar. Nazana Sulu, Protamonilla. Difu Pass is also significant as it lies on the transaction of India, China, and Myanmar. Shipkila is the point where the river Sutlej enters India from Tibet. Shipkila to Himachal Pradesh. With reference to Srimad Shankardev, he propagated the Eksarana Nam Dharma based on the Bhagavad Purana. Eksarana Nam Dharma, Bhagavad Purana, yes. He introduced Borgid, which are devotional songs composed in the Brajavali language. Yes. He was a contemporary of the Mughal Emperor Akbar. Contemporary asile niki Srimant Shankardev Naranaranor dinor asile Akbar aru epine Naranaran হ'ব পাৰে, but I don't know. শ্ৰীমন্ত শংকৰদেৱ, আকবৰ 14th century, 15th century আছিলে না আকবৰ? হ'ব পাৰে দে, all three দিছোঁ। আহা, all three নহয়, ইমান ভুল হৈ থাকে। শ্ৰীমন্ত শংকৰদেৱ কাৰ কণ্টেম্পৰাৰী আছিলে? কিংৰ আহোম কিং চংমুং, Raham king, that is Songmung. They overlapped with the Mughal period, that is Babur Humayun Muhammad Asile. He is most 1449 to 1568, most closely associated with the New Vaishnavite movement. The curative petition in the Indian legal system can be filed in the Supreme Court. Curative petition. Only after a review petition against the final judgment is dismissed under the provisions of Article 142 of the Constitution to prevent abuse of the court process and to cure a gross miscarriage of justice. Curative petition only after a review petition against the final judgment is dismissed. Only after a review petition against the final judgment is dismissed. I think okay, there are the provisions of Article 142 of the Constitution to prevent abuse of the court's process and to cure a gross miscarriage of justice. To prevent abuse of the court's process and to cure a gross miscarriage of justice. All three should be correct. All three. D. Yes, D. Correct. Established in the Rupa Asokura versus Asokura 2002 case. The curative petition is the best last legal resort. It is located in Article 142. Extraordinary powers of the Supreme Court. It is filed after a review petition is dismissed. Regarding the Ahom-Mughal conflict, the Treaty of Asur Ali 1639 was significant because it established the Bornodi River as the boundary between the two empires. Bornodi Treaty of Asur Ali 1639. Bornodi River. No. It marked the first time the Ahoms paid a Bornodi to the Mughals. It led to the permanent annexion of the Guwahati by the Mughals. It was signed between the defeat of the Mughals at the Battle of Itakule. Itakule to Nohoi. It led to the permanent annexion of the Guwahati. Permanent to Nohoi. It marked the first of the Ahoms were invented to the Mughals. Placed the Bornodi River as the boundary between the two empires. Itu tervitrute. Treaty of Asur Ali. Between Bornodi River, Bornodi and Brahmaputra to know. Between Mughal and Bornodi to Asur Ali. Itu A hobo, 1 hobo. Yes, 1. Keneki 1 hobo. Karon itu Asur Ali to Guwahati lot related নহয় পিনে Bornodi বোধ হয় Udalguri ওচৰত আছে. Asur Ali was signed between the Ahom General Mamai Tamale Borborua and the Mughal Emperor Alayar Khan. Titi Usur Alu, Muhammad Burbura Mughal, that is Mughal Emperor, that is Pustar Alayar Khan. It fixed the Borno North Bank and Usur Ali, South Bank. North Bank Borno Usur Ali, South Bank has the tributary between a temporary peace. Which of the following are the objectives of the BIMSTEC Bay of Bengal Initiative for multi-sectoral, technical and economic cooperation? To create a common currency for member nations? No way. To foster rapid economic development through operation in sectors like transport, energy, tourism, BIMSTEC. It provide a bridge between South Asia and Southeast Asia. এইটো হয় টু এণ্ট্ৰিটো হ'ব লাগে কমন কাৰেঞ্চিটো নহয় টু এণ্ট্ৰি should be correct টু এণ্ট্ৰি development through cooperation in sectors like transport energy টু এণ্ট্ৰিটো correct হয় টু এণ্ট্ৰি টু এণ্ট্ৰি B yes B is the correct answer BIMSTEC doesn't aim to make common currency like the Eurozone common currency no? It focuses on 14 priority sectors for cooperation among countries around the Bay of Bengal, acting as a link between SAARC and Asian members. Costa Paul estimates after the Khilazari-Khat Treaty 1663 Khilazari-Khat Treaty 1663 it was signed between Jwada Singha and Mir Jumla. Jwada Singha, yes. How about like Mir Jumla 1663. The Ahams had to cede the entire territory west of the Bonodi to the Mughals. Treaty of Khilazari-Khat, the Aham king had to send his daughter Ramani Gabur to the Treaty of Khilazari-Khat, the Ahams had to cede the entire territory west of the river Bonodi to the Mughals. Itu hoy na nohoy correct to বিচাৰিছে no 1 and 3 to হ'ব লাগে 1 to 3 to 9 দুটাৰ ভিতৰত এটা হ'ব আৰু 1 and 3 to correct হয় I'm said to cede the entire territory west of the river Poroli হয় to all 3 D yes D Poroli নদীৰ লগত আছে ন to Khilazari-Khat west to Mughal দিব লগা হৈছিলে ৰমণী গাভৰু Mir Jumla and কি আছিলে Jwada Singha. It is a humanitarian treaty for the Ahams besides territorial loss. Heavy indemnity Jwada Singha had to send his only daughter, later known as Rumani Gaburu Begum, to the Mughal court. In the context of the Indian economy, headline inflation differs from core inflation because headline inflation differs from core inflation. Core inflation, that is, headline inflation includes food and fuel prices, while core inflation excludes them. Headline inflation is headline inflation is calculated by RBI. Core inflation is calculated by the core inflation is always higher than headline inflation. Headline inflation only accounts for rural areas. For the two, core inflation is always higher. Headline inflation. Inflation includes food and while core inflation excludes them. core inflation to food and fuel or asile no. Core inflation and line. Abo one. Three. Sorry. Negative. It headline inflation includes food and fuel prices. Inflation excludes them. Core inflation is considered a better measure for long-term price trends because it removes volatile items like food and energy. Long-term price trends, that is core inflation. The items like food and energy, which fluctuate frequently due to seasonal or global factors. The horticultural phenomenon known as Bordicella horticultural or meteorologically western disturbance during winter. Pre-monsoon thunderstorm, that is two. Yes. Bordicella even occur in Assam during the spring April. Region, that is local name is Kalbaisaki Northwester. With reference to the Finance Commission of India, it is a quasi-judicial body constituted every 5 years by the Finance Commission. 5 বছৰ মূৰে মূৰে হয় নেকি quasi judicial এইটোতো হ'বই নহয় its recommendations are binding on the union governmentor লগত binding থাকে হ'ব পাৰে the 16th Finance Commission is led by Arvind ito হয় 3 হয় so 2 and 3 correct 2 and 3, that is B. All what? Hi, follow the Finance Commission, they bind non-governmental bind no. Ito mo bhabi sabo lagisile. Finance Commission mane non-governmental logot. Government is executive only. It doesn't have so much to be real means what called true power means. It's a quasi-judicial body constituted every 5 years by the president. President mane 5 বছরে মূৰে আধা মানে judicial or quasi-judicial. Article 280. The recommendations are advisory in nature to usually follow statement-3 correct relevant for 24-26 timelines. Which ancient Indian text is considered the earliest source of information about the Kamrupa kingdom. Kalika Purana, Samudragupta's elaborate pillar inscription, Harsasaritas by Banavatta, Harsasarita, Banavatta, Yagini Tantra. Ancient text is considered the earliest source of information about the Kamrupa region. Kamrupa kingdom or to subsidiary Kalika Purana hoy, Kalika Purana hobo. Samudragupta or the Kamrupa kingdom. Earliest to Samudragupta's Allahabad pillar inscription hito hai. Okay, full Allahabad pillar inscription. Okay. Where the Kalika Purana and Yogini Tantra provide detailed mythological and regional history, the Allahabad pillar inscription process is the first epigraphic historical record evidence mentioning Kamrupa as a frontier kingdom that is pretendo Rajyo pay tribute to the Gupta Empire. Okay. Allahabad pillar inscription. Samudragupta, no? Constant the full stamens brigaded the young of a tree. Epumal ended the first Anglo-Burmese war. It primarily, yes. It was hopefully first to Nasile. It into this sport versus but only the first. Okay, hope. The Burmese gave up all claims over Assam, Kasar, and Jaintia. The treaty was signed between the Ahom king Chandrakanta Singha and the British. The treaty Ahom Lord ki সম্পর্ক আছে 1 and 2 only. That is A. The Afghan Burma. 42. In the context of the Indian Constitution, what does the doctrine of pith and substance imply? Pith and substance. That the union law always prevails over the state law in case of a conflict, and to examine whether a law enacted by a legislature within its assigned territory and crosses the fundamental rights can be amended as law as they don't touch the bit of the Constitution. The president's power to grant pardon is absolute. Doctrine of pith and substance. Pith and substance to federal rights can be amended as long as they don't touch the pith of the Constitution. Amended. Doctrine of pith and to examine whether a law enacted by a legislature falls within its assigned territory or encroaches upon another's. Assigned territory encroaches upon another's. Doctrine of pith and substance. That the union law always prevails over the state law in case of a conflict. That the president's power, that is B over 11, or this can be B over B. Yes, B is the correct answer. The doctrine is used by the courts where a law made by one legislature legislature is challenged for encroaching on the substance of another if the pith substance true nature of the law is within the legislature's power, it's valid, while if it incidentally touches on another list. And this one is the Hagrama Bridge is located over which river? Brahmaputra, Noi Manastu, Noi Gorung or Sunkos river operath hoy niki? Manas river, Sunkos river operath hoy? Sunkos to Manasur to nohoy, to Gorung habo. Gorung. Yes, see. Sunkos to sabse pene ase, namod ase. So Gorung river. A bridge is a significant infrastructure project at the pole and territorial region near Gorong River in Kokrajhar. With reference to genetically modified crops, the Dhara mustard hybrid 11 is the first GM genetically modified GM food crop to be cleared for environmental release in India. Dhara mustard hybrid 11 food crop itu awa India prothom itu hoy. The genetic engineering that is appraisal committee functions under the Ministry of Agriculture. Meaning Agriculture Ministry under BT cotton is currently the only GM crop under commercial cultivation in India. Itu hoy. Only no BT cotton itu only no. Itu commercial to itu genetically modified. Only this only don't know I guess no hobo Dhara mustard to hoy crop to hoy to gote kita hobo jen lagise dei BT cotton to hoy jane ba is only the same only GM crop under commercial হ'ব দে হ'ব অল থ্ৰী টি মানে 1 and 2 টা হয় কিন্তু এই মাজৰটো নহয় মাজৰটো মানে বিটো নহয় কি আছিলে এইটো টুটো নহয় দ্য জেনেটিকেলি ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং এপ্ৰাইজেল কমিটি মিনিষ্ট্ৰি অফ এগ্ৰিকালচাৰৰ হেৰিত নপৰে only 1 and 3 okay this is genetically engineering appraisal committee functions under the Ministry of Environment or Ministry of Environment or him. Okay, during the quit in the movement, some Rituvahini deaths were formed, which of the prominent leader of the Rituvahini in the Gopur region. Kondolota Purva, Kuhol Kur, Sutipata Gorla Puspolota Das. Gopur region of Puspolota Das to Dorongna Kurva Desle. To Konoluta Das of Konoluta Purva Ehobo. Sutipurkat Agora La Hasle. Ayo, what are these? During the Quit India movement, 942 in Assam, Rituvahini were formed, who was the most prominent leader of the Rituvahini in the Gopur region. There was Suti Prasad Agorla. Who tan question this no? Any question develage. While the Bro was the young matter of the movement in Gopur, the Rituvahini and its activities were organized and led by the revolutionary poet and filmmaker Suti Prasad Agorla, who went underground to direct the movement. Okay. Which of the following the creator for a classical language in Assam, language in India? High antiquity of its early text over a period of years. Antiquity of its early text. However, the body of ancient literature text which is considered a valuable heritage by generations of speakers. The literary tradition must be original and not borrowed from another. Yes, this is third is literary tradition must be original. It's original hoboy lagibo to correct. High antiquity of its early text over a period of the body of ancient literature text which is considered available in heritage by generations of speakers. A body of ancient literature which is considered a valuable heritage. Valuable heritage by generations of speakers. All three. D. Yes. D. The Ministry of Culture in 24 Assamese was granted the status of classical language with Maithili, Pali, Prakrit, and Bengali. This does classical language along with 2024 Tisino, Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, and Bengali. Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Bengali, and Assamese. Assamese, Marathi, Prakrit, Pali, Bengali. Pasta language of Tisino, 2024. Because the following appears of Assam history and first occurrences. First tea garden in India, that is Sabo, Assam. Yes, first well in Asia, that is Digboy. First medical college in Northeast, that is Assam Medical College, Dibrugarh. All these are correct. D, yes, D is the correct answer. The plantation established Sabo in 1837 or Digboy Sota, first well refinery 1901. The Assam Medical College, Mumali, Berry White Medical College, Berry White Medical School, first medical college of Assam or India. What is the fiscal drag in an economy? Fiscal drag a situation where the government debt grows faster than the fiscal drag that is grows faster than the GDP. When inflation pushes taxpayers into higher tax brackets, officially increasing the tax burden without a change in a tax law. The negative impact, fiscal direct, the negative impact of high interest rates on private investment. The time lag between the announcement of a policy and its actual implementation. Fiscal rate, a situation where government debt grows faster than the GDP. When inflation pushes taxpayers into high tax brackets, duly increasing the tax burden without a sense in the tax law. That is A. Oh, B whole correct. Fully regular to fiscal drag when inflation pushes taxpayers into higher tax brackets, effectively increasing the tax burden without a sense in the tax law. Okay. Fiscal drag opens during inflation as nominal incomes rise. People move into higher tax brackets. This increases the real tax revenue for the government and reduces consumer spending, which can drag or slow down the economy. With reference to the would compare today, Max, with reference to the tolerance and Shillong Plateau, because the follow where the tolerance is the highest point of the Meghalaya Plateau. No, highest point of the Meghalaya Plateau. No, the Garo Hills are located to the west of the Khasi Hills. Khasi Hills, sir, Pusimut, yes. The highest peak of the entire Meghalaya Plateau is Shillong Peak, that is yes 2 and 3. That is B. Yes, B is the correct answer. Shillong Peak is subsidang. Okay. Which of the following writ is issued by a higher court to a lower court to prevent it from exceeding its jurisdiction? That is a higher court or lower court. Ko lagi. To exceed no. Ko itu guess le. Statutory. Issued high court to lower court to prevent it from exceeding its jurisdiction. Oh, that is prohibition to prohibition over C over C. Yes, prohibition. Prohibition is issued while the proceedings are pending to prohibit the lower court from acting beyond its power. Statutory is that is prohibited. Statutory is issued after the order is passed to quash it. The order is passed to quash it. Okay. Consider the following statements regarding the inner line permit. Okay, it is an official travel document issued by the travel document India to allow inward travel of an Indian citizen into a protected area for a limited period. Itu hobul lagi area or area with it. It is based on the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act 1873 operated here in Ukraine. As of 2026, the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Nagaland, Manipur fall under the IPL regime. Yes, all this should be correct. All this correct. TD, yes, and D. To Bengal, kiba seleku Frontier Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act 1873. Apple was originally designed by the British to protect the commercial interests the world elephants from British subjects. Post-independence, it is used to protect tribal cultures and identities in the Northeast. Manipur was the latest state to be added to the ILP inland permit regime in 2019. Manipur to 1996. The Dingbatkai landscape is often referred to as the Amazon of the East. In context, it is the only sanctuary in India which is home of 7 different species of wild cats. Yes, it was upgraded to a national park in 2021. Yes, this is also correct. It contains the largest stretch of lowland semi-evergreen forest in India. Semi-lowland, semi-evergreen. Yes, tropical evergreen forest in India. Yes, all three are correct. That is the yes. Unique or diversity fields including clouded leopard, marbled cat, golden cat, and etc. It is a crucial elephant corridor and designated as Assam's 7 national park. Okay, it is Signa Zuhulo National Park. Okay, with reference to the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, the Comptroller and Auditor General is appointed by the President. Uh, the cake is appointed by the president or by warrant under his hand and seal. With reference to the Comptroller and Auditor General in India, the cake is appointed by the president by warrant under his hand and seal. Appointed. However, cake to president upon where he holds office for a term of 6 years or until he attains death of 65 years. Comptroller and Auditor General 6 years and 5 years. He is eligible for further office under the government of India after he was seated to hold his office. He is eligible for further office. Government of India after he is to hold his office. Aku এবার পারে নাকি eligible হয় নাকি Comptroller and Auditor General? I don't think so. I don't think so. But critically, he is eligible for further office under the government of India after he has ceased to hold his office. He holds office for a term of 6 years. 65 to 2 হয় হবতে গোটেইকেইটা correct হ'ব. All should be correct. দিয়ে দি দিও হলে হল নহলে নাই. 1 and 2 only. 3 to incorrect হৈ থাকিলে. Negative হৈ গ'ল. Okay. This is the হেৰি হয়. This is আৰু একবাৰ eligible নহয় তাৰমানে Comptroller General. To ensure independence, the cake is not eligible for any further office under the government of India or any state government after retirement. In the context of ancient Assam, the Nidhanpur copper plate inscription was issued by which king? Nidhanpur, that is Bhaskar Varman. Nidhanpur copper plate, that is Bhaskar Varman, that is B. Yes, B. The Nidhanpur copper plates were issued by Bhaskar Varman dynasty. They are significant because they confirm the grant of land to over 200 Brahmins and provide evidence of the administrative and social structure of the Kamrupa kingdom in the 7th century Kamrupa kingdom. Which of the following best describes the stagflation in the economy? High inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand. It will have low inflation combined with yes a period where pay prices rapid or stock market. That is A. Yes, A is the correct answer. High inflation combined with high unemployment and stagnant demand. Okay, that is stagflation is a worst of both worlds scenario. Usually, high inflation is led to high growth. However, stagflation, the economy experiences slow growth, stagnation, alongside rising prices, inflation, making traditional monetary policy very difficult to apply. Regarding the Assam Association, formed in 903, okay, it was the first political organization in Assam to provide a platform for expressing the people's grievances. To provide a platform for Hopare grievance block organized. Manik Chandra Bora was its first secretary. First president of Assam Association was who? Manik Chandra Bora. President Asila, Secretary Asila. It emerged with the Indian National Congress in 1921 to the Congress while Mahatma Gandhi came visited Assam. Okay, 1 and 3 to correct. Hoy. Manik Chandra was its first secretary. Ambika Rai three president Asila no hate. So correct about D. Yes, D was the correct answer. I think Omega Rai was the first president. Where Assam 1991 signaled Assam's mainstreaming of Assam's political struggle, the non-cooperation movement. Okay, 1921 at non-cooperation movement. Consider the following pairs of ocean currents. Kuroshi current that is warm, yes. Benguela current that is cold. Labrador current. Labrador current to cold hobona. Agulhas current warm. Which are currently matched. Kutikate wasn't like I say 1 and 2 to hobble like Labrador current to hobble like was current to which of them are correctly matched question no. Agulhas current to Kutikate did you? Yes, this is the correct answer. Bagi kita nazano Kuroshio current to warm. That is Benguela current to cold hoy, Labrador current to cold, and Agulhas to warm. Okay. And Kuroshio is in the North Pacific, Benguela of the west coast of Africa. Africa that is cold. Okay, and Labrador in the northern Atlantic. Northern Atlantic that is called Labrador, and Agulhas in the Indian Ocean. Agulhas is in the Agulhas current is in the Indian Ocean that is warm. Mapping ocean currents is a frequent topic in high-level geography papers. With reference to the Santhal Rebellion that is 1855 to 56, which of the following statements? Santhal Rebellion that is 1855 to 56. Correct, no. It was led by the brothers Sidhu and Kanho. Santhal the rebellion was directed against the Dikus, outsiders and the oppressive Jamindari system. Hobo. The British created a separate district called Santhal Paragana to pacify the rebels. Agoti not Sidhu and Kanho. All three should be correct. D. Yes, D. That is Sidhu and Kanho. Dervila was one of the most fierce pre-1857, prior to 1857 or about 1855. Oh, 1855 or 1855 or there about to say no 56 then 1857 or so to Sipoy Mutiny tribal uprisings. The Spears tribal 1857 prior. The creation of the Santhal Pargana, which a strategic administrative move to recognize the distinct identity of the Santals and limit the influence of moneylenders. The Council of Assam was granted the geographical indication tag recently. Following statements is not correct about the Gamsa. Gamsa is a typically white rectangular piece of cloth with red borders. Border lasted red colors, white rectangular to him. The Fulham Gamsa is used primarily for functional purposes like wiping the face. ব্যবহার করা তো হয় কিন্তু কারণ হয় it is not an indispensable part of the Bihu festival and Vaishnava culture এইটো ফুল আছে it represents the social and cultural সিটো ফুল আছে it is not an indispensable part of the Bihu festival Bihu festival আৰু Vaishnava cultureৰ লগত ইমান এটা মানে ইম্পৰ্টেণ্ট এৰি চলিবলগীয়া এৰি নচলিবলগীয়া মানে বস্তু নহয় সেনেকুৱা কৈছে ফুলাম গামোচা ইজ ইউজড প্ৰাইমাৰলি ফৰ সেইটো বিটোৱে কাৰেক্ট আছিলে এইটো ভুল কৰি দিলোঁ না প্ৰাইমাৰলি বুলি কৈছে প্ৰাইমাৰলিটোতো মুখ মুচিবৰ কাৰণে ব্যৱহাৰ নকৰে অ'কে ভুল হৈ থাকিলে এতিয়া ফুলাম গামোচা embroidered gamusa is not used for wiping the face. It is a symbol of honor and respect used during festivals, religions, ceremonies, and to facilitate guests. The plain uka gamusa is used for functional deity purposes. Plain gamusa functional and uka hadmusa daily purposes. Consider the following statements regarding monetary policy committee. It is a 6-member committee with 3 members from the RBI and 3 appointed by the central government. How about the Monetary Policy Committee? The government of RBI is the ex-officio chairman of Monetary Policy Committee. The governor of RBI is the ex-officio chairman. Monetary Policy Committee. The Monetary Policy Committee determines the policy interest rate, repo rate increase required to achieve the inflation target. Monetary Policy Committee. The RBI, no? RBI Monetary Policy Committee, ito hobo. 6 members, ito hobo lagi the monetary ex-officio chairman. হ'ব পাৰে গোটেইকেইটা হ'ব পাৰে all 3 correct দিয়ে correct হৈ গ'ল The Monetary Policy Committee was established to bring transparency and accountability to fixing interest rates. Decisions are made by majority vote with the governor having a casting vote in case of a tie. Majority vote with the governor having a casting vote in case of a tie. With reference to the mansabdari system of the Mughal Empire, consider 4 estimates that the range indicate the personal status and salary of the official, while the sour rank indicate the number of cavalrymen he was required to maintain. I do not know mansabdari jat. Indicate the personal status and salary of the officer. I think mansabdari jat the status. Sour rank indicate the number of cavalrymen. I don't know. The mansabdars always receive their salaries through land grants from known as jagirs. Ito hoy. The system was made hereditary by Emperor Akbar to ensure loyalty. Mansabdar Akbar dinner pra hereditary goritsley. How pare? আকবৰে মানচিত্ৰী চিষ্টেমটো এষ্টাব্লিছ কৰিছিল ন এষ্টাব্লিছটো বেলেগে কৰিছিল আৰু এষ্টাব্লিছ কৰিছিলে মানচিত্ৰী চিষ্টেম মেড mandatory by Akbar hereditary কৰিছিলে এইটোতো নহ'ব দেই নহ'ব যেন লাগিছে 1 and 2 কাৰেক্ট হ'ব লাগে only 1 into B only 1 correct bole so it incorrect হৈ থাকিলে means mansubdarit এটো কি কৈছে ন correct বিচাৰিছে mansubdari system in the Mughal Empire does it rank indicate the personal status and salary of the officer that rank personal status and salary of the officer while the sour rank indicates the number of government he was required to maintain. Mansubdari always received their salaries through land grants. I don't know why, always boli goise no. The system was made hereditary by Akbar to ensure loyalty. Akbar Mansubdari system me policy korisile niki. Incorrect. Mansubdars could be paid in case kesuto asile no. And through land like secretary or keso is nakdi, keso nakdi and secretary to land. The system was not hereditary under Akbar. It was based on merit and mansubdari based on merit to hereditary nasle. And the law of Esit made the property of the mansubdar reverted to the state after that. Okay, let me get the light. Where is the light? মই অফ কৰি দিছিলোঁ ন I'm so sorry for that ভইচটো অফ কৰি দিছিলোঁ মই আৰু লাইটটো জ্বলাব খুজিছিলোঁ মোবাইলৰ ভইচটো অফ কৰি পাইছিলোঁ okay 62 in the context of Assam's tea industry the term tea tribes refers to the descendants of laborers that is brought from which region that is Southern Nagpur Plateau yes coastal Andhra Pradesh I think হ'ব পাৰে Upper Myanmar and Thailand এটো নহয় 1 and 2 1 and 2 only 1 and 2 B yes B is the correct answer Andhra Pradesh or আনিছিলে ন laborers were brought during the British era from the Southern Nagpur region in the some parts of Andhra, Telangana, Ganjam district. They are also known as Adivasis or XT Garden tribes. They have no historical connection to Myanmar, Thailand. Regarding the governor's power to promulgate ordinances, Article 2 consider the following. He can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses of the state legislature, if applicable, are not in reason. He can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses state are not in session. It is not possible. It is not possible. An ordinance has the same force and effect as an act of the state legislature. It don't have every such ordinance must be laid before the state legislature and shall cease to operate at the expiration of 6 weeks from the reassembly of the legislature. Option কি আছে ন to entry হ'ব পাৰে নহলে বা he can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses of the state legislature are not in session. 2 and 3 হ'ব এইটো বাকি চাই লাভে নাই yes 2 and 3 হ'ব All three bole. So negative hoy gol. Promulgate he can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses of the state legislature, if applicable, are not in session. Okay, an ordinance has the same force and effect as an act of the state legislature, but press the legislature ordinance force as a has the same force and effect act on as an act bole. Thus, every such ordinance must be put the state legislature and is to operate at the expiration of 6 weeks from the assembly of the legislature. Okay, the power is so coextensive with the legislative power of the state legislature. It is an extraordinary power to meet unforeseen or urgent situations. The Dhubri Fulbari that is under construction will connect Assam with state Assam and Assam Karlawat connect Kuribo Assam and this is Dhubri Assam and Meghalaya to Meghalaya to Bengal Dileno West Bengal Dileno Assam connect with Meghalaya this B. Yes. Bhalori Sapo Lagibo. The bridge over the Brahmaputra will connect Dhubri in Assam with Fulbari in Meghalaya Fulbari. And once complete, it is expected to be India's longest bridge over water, longest bridge over water, significantly reducing travel time between the two states. Okay, Assam and Meghalaya. The peers, superficial sellers, and the founders of prominent sense in India, Kisti Zari Khwaja, Munuddin Kisti, yes, this is correct. That is Surawardi, Sheikh Sihabuddin, Surawardi, ito hobo lage. Naqshbandi, that is Khwaja, Baki Bilal, Naqshbandi, I don't know this one correct or not. Qadiri, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Gilani, Naqshbandi to no hobo niki, 1 to 4 hobo lage. Arkagli matched which of the 1 to 4 is 1 to 4 9 1 to 4 is 9 তাহলে করতে গেতে correct হবে that is D. Yes, D. That is Naqshbandi bile Khwaja Baki Bilal Qadiri Sheikh Abdul Qadir Gilani. This is Sufi Silsila Sufi bile na Sufi Silsila. Surawardi, that is Sheikh Sihabuddin Surawardi. Kisti Khwaja Munuddin Kisti. Okay, all pairs are matched. The Kisti silsilas was the most popular in India. Well, the Naqshbandi was the most orthodox and gained prominence during the late Mughal period. Okay, with regards to the National Board for Wildlife, it is a statutory organization constituted under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. National Board for Wildlife. It is shared by the Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. No alteration of boundaries in national parks and wildlife sanctuaries can be made without the approval of the National Board of Wildlife. National park and wildlife sanctuaries can be made without the approval of the National Board for Wildlife. Yes, all these are correct, I guess. All these are, that is D. D ho no he no D. Oh, sorry. That is B. It is said by Union. Ito no hoy. Mane ito hoy. But B means 1 and 3. 2 to no hoy. Ito incorrect hoy tigile. When the Prime Minister is the ex-officio chairman of the National Board for Wildlife. Wildlife kito National Board for Wildlife. Okay. Ito Union Minister of ito no hoy. Prime Minister and National Board. Provide for chairman, ex-officio chairman. What the environment minister is the vice chairman, ex-officio chairman, that is prime minister, and vice chairman, that is environment minister. Okay, in the history of Assam freedom struggle, the tea casualty firing 1942 is significant because tea casualty firing. Oh, I do my correct now. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, in the history of the Assam freedom struggle 1942, tea casualty firing. Oh, involved the highest number of women martyrs in a single day during the Quit India movement. Due to firing facility tahole to manamuri highest number hopere during Quit India movement. No, yes, that can be correct. It was the only event with the British used air raids against civilians in. It was the only event where the British used air raids against civilians in Assam. That is not correct. It led to the immediate resignation of the Gopinath Bordoloi ministry. ঠিক আছে Gopinath ministry লগত কি connection আছে? I don't think this is correct. 1942. Okay, I don't know. It was led by the Santi Sena, Socialist Party. Santi Sena. That is the one. Yes, A is the correct answer. Okay. On September 20, 1942, several people, including teenage girls like Tilisuri Borua, were killed by police firing while Tilisuri Borua somewhere like Baro or something. Yes, 12 years of age. Tilisuri Borua, that is youngest, no. Killed by police firing while trying to waste their national plaque at the Tikasuli police station. Tikasuli is often called the town of martyrs. Tikasuli is called as the town of martyrs. Okay. Which of the following economic caps shows the relationship between tax rates and tax revenue? Economic caps show the relationship between tax rate and tax revenue. Lorentz curve, Leffer curve, Kuznets curve, Phillips curve, tax rate and tax revenue. That is Leffer curve. I think Leffer curve B. I will go for B. BB, yes, B is the correct answer. I don't know, but simply guessed it. That is tax rate and tax revenue. That is Leffer curve. Okay. The Leffer curve suggests that as tax rates increase, tax revenue increases. If tax rate increases and tax revenue also increases up to a certain point, after which higher taxes and discourages work and investment, causing revenue to fall, and then afterwards it fails. Consider the false statements regarding the Mulagapuru and the Ahom Bengal conflict. Ahom Mulagapuru and the Ahom Bengal conflict. No, she was the sister of the Ahom king Suhongmung. Ahom king Suhongmung, I don't know. Prasingmungor wife asile Mulagapuru. Yes. Sister of King Suhongmung. I think hobo pare. She fought against the forces of Turbo Khan. Yes. Her bravery inspired the Ahom army to eventually defeat the invaders at the Battle of Parali. Battle of Parali tar pisote recently came to do Parali to hobo lagi all three can be correct. Okay. That is D. Only 2 and 3. 2 sister nasile. So more kono sister nasile. Mulagapuru. So B means 2 and 3 are correct. She was Turbo Khan against Turbo Khan. Bravery inspired the Ahom army to eventually defeat the invaders at the Battle of Boralin. Then after it. 1532 আছিলে ন এইটো মূলাগাঁৱৰ সেইটো against Turbukanar battle to. Okay, she was the wife of Borgohai, Prasimuk Borgohai, and the daughter of King Supimpa. Oh, King Supimpa, his sister Asile, not the sister of Somo. King Supimpa, daughter, King Supimpa, daughter. His sacrifice, her sacrifice is legendary in the military history of Assam. Okay. The global minimum tax of 15% Pillar 2, recently discussed in international forums, aims to ensure that multinational enterprises pay a fee of tax regardless of where they operate, present-based origin, and profit shifting to tax havens, provide a universal basic income to citizens of developing nations. The global minimum tax of 15% pillar, recently discussed in international forums, aims to global minimum tax 15%, ensure that multinational enterprises pay a fee sure of tax regardless of where they operate. Yes, prevent base erosion and profit shifting to tax havens. Prevent base erosion and profit shifting to tax havens. How about provide a universal basic income to citizens of developing nations. Universal basic income to citizens of developing nations. Global minimum tax. I don't know. Only one and two. Universal basic income to citizens of developing nations. Oh, all three. All three D. B here all. Sorry. মানে global universal basic income same নহয় মানে. Okay. To base erosion to prevent কৰে ন. Present profit shifting tax information. This is an OECD that is Group 20 initiative. It targets large companies that shift profits to low tax jurisdiction. It has nothing to do with universal basic income. Okay, it doesn't have any relation with universal basic payment. Okay, with reference to the river Brahmaputra, it enters India through a deep course at the Namsabara peak. Yes, the Lohit and Divang rivers join the mainstream near the town of Sudia. ডিব্ৰুগড়তহে হয় তিনিচুকীয়াত নহয় ন চুদিয়াটো ক'ত আছিলে চুদিয়াটো তিনিচুকীয়াত আছিলে ন চুদিয়াৰ পৰা য়েছ তিনিচুকীয়াখিনিত নাথাকে ন ইমান এটা হ'ব এইটো কাৰেক্ট হ'ব দেই ইট ইজ নন এজ দ্য যমুনা ইন বাংলাদেশ বিফৰ ইট জইনছ দ্য গংগা দ্যাট ইজ পদ্মা all are correct that is D yes D চুদিয়াটো মানে ডাইৰেক্ট তিনিচুকীয়াৰ আপাৰ পাৰ্টত নহয় যেহেতু ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰহে ন ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰৰ লগত ৰিলেটেড হয় চুদিয়াটোৱে মানে মেইন হেৰিটো ব্ৰহ্মপুত্ৰৰ আপাৰমোষ্ট অফ আছাম ন the river takes sharp U-turn at Namsabarwa in Tibet. It is the Yalong Sangpo in Arunachal and the Xiang or Dihang, and in Assam Valley, the Brahmaputra. In the context of the Ahom administrative hierarchy, what was the Raskwa responsible for? Raskwa, he was head of the naval department. He was governor of a specific territory and commanded 300 pikes. 3,000 pikes. He was in charge of the royal kitchen and he was the chief diplomatic envoy of the Mughal court. Mughal court কৈছে এটো B2 হ'ব correct answer. B is the correct answer. So he was a governor of a specific territory and commanded 3,000 pike. 3,000 back command কৰিছিলে ন Raskhoa was a high-ranking official who administered a special region and had military command over a unit of 3,000 pikes. He was subordinate to the Pukonor Tolodarki. Pukon to highest way. Regarding the Montego Samsport or Campsport reforms, 99 considered the following. It introduced diarchy in the provincial governments. It separated the central and provincial subjects for the first time. It granted the right to vote to all adult citizens of India. I don't know, 1 and 3 only. 1 and 2 only, I guess. A did you hold on? Yes, the correct answer. Darky Montego Kempsborough report introduced Darky and the provincial governments. It's about the central and provincial subjects for the first time. Okay. 1919 Act limited franchise based on property tax or education. It didn't introduce universal adult suffrage, which came with the 1950 Constitution, not actually 19 with the 1950 Constitution. The Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol aims to phase out of the ozone depleting substances like chlorofluorocarbons. Kigali Amendment phase down the production of the consumption of hydrofluorocarbons. I don't know. A2BC reduce carbon dioxide emissions 50% by 2030. Protect the biodiversity of the African Great Lakes. Kigali কৈছে ন Kigali Amendment phase out of the ozone depleting substances এইটোৱে হ'ব A মানে A হ'ব লাগে that is B phase down the production of and consumption of hydrofluorocarbons that is Kigali Amendment hydrofluorocarbons or production and consumption phase down কৰি দিয়ে ন so এইটো wrong হৈ গ'ল where the original Montreal Protocol targeted chlorofluorocarbons to shape CFCs to shape the ozone layer to save ozone layer has to be shaped okay the Kigali Amendment 2016 that was happened in 2016 hydrofluorocarbons targets hydrofluorocarbons. Hydrofluorocarbons do not deplete the ozone but are potent greenhouse gases that continue to global warming. Okay, to Kigali as no Kigali target agreement. Okay, hydrofluorocarbon doesn't harm the ozone layer, but it takes place in increasing global warming. Okay, consider the full appears of ancient Assam dynasties and their capitals. Burman dynasty, Praxotispura. I think correct. Salstambhava dynasty, that is Harpeswara. Salstambhava, I think correct. Pala dynasty, Durjaya. All should be correct. I guess. Pala dynasty, Durjaya. It can be a little bit doubtful. Okay, let it be all corrected. That is D. Yes, D is the correct answer. Pala dynasty, Durjaya, then Salstambha, Harpeswar, and Burman dynasty, that is Praxotispur, and the Pala dynasty, Durjaya. Okay. Harpeswar, that is mid modern day Tezpur, and Durjaya, that is built by Ratnapala. Durjaya, that is Pala dynasty. Ratnapala is located near modern day North Guwahati, that is Durjaya. Was the year in North Guwahati by Pala dynasty. Okay, now comes which of the following constitutional provisions can be amended by a simple majority of the parliament. Simple majority, election of the president and its manner, no admission or establishment of new states, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy. Simple majority. Constitutional provision can be amended. Election of the president. Election of president and its manner. Simple majority to again. Admission or establishment of new states. Fundamental rights can be amended by simple majority. Directive principles of state policy. I don't know which should I pick. Simple majority of legal admission or establishment of new states. It to have a B. Yes, B is the correct answer. B is the correct answer I found somewhere. Establishment or admission of new states that requires simple majority in the parliament. Okay. Under Article 3 and 4, changes in state boundaries or admission of new states are done by a simple majority. Okay. And what do you call that? Election president and amendment fundamental rights under APSC and they require majority, special majority under Article 368. Okay. Magori Motapung Bill was of the news due to an well blowout is located near which protected area. That is Magori Motapung Bill. Will blowout hisle no Kazirunga Dibrusikwa National Park Namiri. Dibrusikhate Hobalagade. Manasoto impossible Namirit. I don't know, but this is very Dibrugarh National Park. Dibrusikha National Park. Yes, B. Yes, B is the correct answer. That is Magori Motapung. Blowout. This wetland is located near the right next to the Dibrusikha National Park. Dibrusikha National Park in Tinsukia district. It is a critical habitat for migratory birds and was severely impacted by the Baksan gas welfare or impacted by the Baksan gas wildfire. Yes, it was Roito Maguri Motapung well gas blowout. Okay. With reference to Mahatma Gandhi's visit 1921, he was invited by the Assam Association. However, he visited Assam primarily to promote the non-cooperation movement in Swadesi. He visited Assam primarily to promote the non-cooperation movement. Yes, Swadesi. During this visit, he described the Assamese women as weaving dreams on their looms. Yes, all these are correct. That is D. Yes, D is the correct answer. Weaving dreams on their looms. Okay. 1921, he came from South Africa in 1915, and then 1921 he came to Assam to promote non-cooperation movement and Swadesi movement. Okay. Galvanized the freedom struggle in the state. His famous quote was about Assamese weavers remains a point of immense cultural pride. Okay. What is blue bonds? A term often seen in environmental economics. Blue bonds. Term often seen in environmental economics. Blue bonds issued by the government to support the indigo industry. I don't think correct. Financial instruments issued to raise capital for projects related to ocean conservation and sustainable water management. Bonds that have failed to pay interest and are in the blue. Loans provided by the World Bank policy for development of blue chip companies.
by the World Bank, specific for the development of blue chip companies. Blue chip companies means very much higher influential company that can be blue bonds. That D should be the accurate answer. Oh, not D. That is A. Okay. Negative. I done negative. Blue bonds means financial instrument you issue to raise capital for projects related to ocean conservation and sustainable water management. Okay, much like green bonds for land-based environment projects, blue bonds specific upon the that is blue economy that sustainable fisheries, coral reef protection and reducing ocean pollution. Which king is known as the Laura Rosa. Laura Rosa, that is Sulikofa. That is Laura Rosa, boy king Sulikofa. That is A. Yes. Sulikofa was placed over the throne at a very young age by Laluksola Borpokon. His reign is notorious, yes, for the mutilation of princes to ensure no other royal could claim the throne, as only a perfect body could be king. Okay. তাৰপিছতে গদাপাণি ৰজা হৈছিলে নাগা পাহাৰত লুকাই আছিলে ন তালিমিক লগ পাইছিলে ধুনীয়া কিন্তু দুখ লগা আৰু Consider the following statements regarding LPM-3 launch vehicle Mark III, India's heaviest launch vehicle. It is a three-stage launch vehicle with two solid strap-on motors. That is a liquid core stage and a high thrust cryogenic upper stage. Two solid trap on motors, a liquid core stage, and I don't know. However, it was used to launch the Chandrayaan-3 (LPM-3), yes, and Gaganyaan display missions. It is designed to carry 4,000 kg class of satellites into geosynchronous transfer orbit. Yes, all these three can be correct. That is D. Yes, D. That is what was it? PSLV, no? LPM, that is, and formerly known as GSLV as MK3 as first, and then now LPM. That is launch vehicle Mark. Okay, it is ISRO's workhorse for heavy lifting. Its cryogenic stage. CA-20 is indigenous and crucial for deep space missions. Okay, deep space mission. In the context of the 1857 revolt of in Assam, Muniram Dan and Pioli Borua were executed in 1858 for conspiring against the British. Yes, the primary aim was to restore Conservator Singha to the throne. Yes, this is also correct. Conservator Singha Ahamur Zapatiba Hosile 1858. The uprising was supported by the local tea garden laborers. Uprising was supported. এইটোতো হবে মুনৰাম জান যেহেতু খেতিও আছিলে এইটোতো নিগেট কৰিব নোৱাৰি লোকেলহে আছিলে ন all these are correct so all these are correct that is the 1 and 2 only এইটো T2 নহয় তো মানে কেনেকৈ নহয় টি মুনিৰাম দেৱানী নিজে খেতিয়ক আছিলে লেবাৰ ছাপৰ্ট কৰিছিলে এইটো কাৰেক্ট দিব লাগিছিলে এইটো Okay, negative hold arrow. Mm-mm. Three is incorrect. The 1857 revolt in Assam was largely an attempt by the old Ahom aristocracy to regain power. The tea garden laborers were a much later demographic addition and were not invited in the 1857 events. Oh, and বহুত পিছত আহিছিলে tea garden বিলাক laborers বিলাক সেইটো খেতি কৰিছিলে ন 1858 আছিলে নাই 1837 খেতি আৰম্ভ হৈছিলে চাবুৱাত তো হ'ব লাগিছিলে অলপ এটা টাচ আছিলে the Panchayat era's institutions were constitutionalized by the 73rd Amendment. However, the amendment doesn't apply which of the following areas, that is Panchayat era's system to no korbat eta apply নহয় কৈছে Schedule areas referred to in the article 244 Panchayat era's institution schedule written নহয় নেকি states of Nagaland, Mizoram and Meghalaya, the health areas of Manipur for their district exits. That is Panchayat era's institution scheduled areas 6 scheduled areas repeat in 2010 the states of Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram. All three হ'ব লাগে তো all three did you D yes D all three তিনিওটাতে মানে এইটো Panchayat era's 73rd থ্ৰীটাৰ সেইটো হেৰি আছিলে institution এইটো মানে এপ্লাই হোৱা নাছিলে Scheduled areas repeat in 244 article number the states of Nagaland, Meghalaya and Mizoram and also Manipur. Okay. Article 243M, certain areas are exempted to protect traditional tribal administrative systems for scheduled areas. A separate law, that is PESA Act 996. PESA Act 996 was later enacted to extend Panchayat era's institution features with modifications. Okay. With reference to Hasti Vidyanabha, the famous Assamese treatise on elephants, it was written that is during the reign of King Shiva Singha. Yes, this is correct. It was authored by Sukumar. Yes, the manuscript is famous for its colorful illustrations, and that is still, but all are correct. That is D. D is the correct answer. Okay, 18th century, that is Shiva Singha Ramedna, Sukumar Burgat. What is the Kuznets curve? What is the Kuznets curve used to describe economics? I don't know, but there is a between unemployment and inflation, relationship between economic growth and income inequality, bets, tax rates and tax revenue. Ito to impossible. Ito to beleg asile no. Ito ki asile curve kiba Lufel curve na kiba Lufix curve na kiba. Between population growth and food supply. Net growth, economic growth and income. Economic growth and income inequality. এইটোৱে হ'ব বৰ্তমান যিটো চলি আছে বিটোৱে দি দিওঁ দেই য়েছ বি ইজ দ্য কাৰেক্ট আনচাৰ ইকনমিক গ্ৰথ হৈছে বাট ইনকাম ইনইকুৱালিটি সেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ন and the Kuznets curve hypothesis that as an Kuznets curve hypothesis hypothesizes as that as an economic develops market forces first increase and then market forces first increase and then decrease economic inequality forming an inverted U shape. Okay, regarding the Aham Kasuri relations the Battle of Itakuli. Aham Kasuri Battle of Itakuli. Aham Kasuri relations. Battle of Itakuli, 1682, is to the Mughals as the Battle of Tansuri. Battle of Itakuli, 1682, is to the Mughals as the Battle of Tansuri, 1532, is to the Sooties. Kasuri Cossistentes. Oh my god. Mururbi selection. Regarding the Ahom-Kosari relations, Ahom-Kosari relations, Ahom আৰু Kosari relation, Battle of Itakoli মোগলৰ মাজতে হৈছিলে লাষ্ট war হৈছিলে ন 1682 এলন নৰকাচন্দ্ৰ কি আছিলে okay যিয়ে নহওক is to the Mughals as the Battle of Dhonsiri. Battle of Dhonsiri to কাৰ লগত হৈছিলে Kosari আৰু Sutia. Sutia হ'ব Kosari আৰু Sutiয়াৰ মাজত না কোচৰ মাজত কোচ হ'ব কোচি Kosaris মই কি কৈছো Battle of Dhonsiri কাৰ মাজত হৈছিলে is to the Mughals এইটো বুজি পোৱা নাই মই ভালকে আলচিলেকে বুজি পাবা just as Itakoli was the decisive final blow to the two Mughal invasions, the Battle of Dhansiri under Sungmung was the turning point with the arms decisively defeated the Kosaris. Battle of Dhansiri, Kosari Rahamar was the and the shifting of the Kosari capital to Dimapur Maipung to Tanasli. With reference to carbon credits and carbon offsetting, consider the following. One carbon credit is equivalent to the reduction of 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide. Reduction of 1 metric ton of carbon. 1 metric ton carbon dioxide. I don't know. This is correct. No, we do. The concept originated from the Kyoto Protocol. In a car cap and trade system, companies that emit less than their limit can sell their excess credit. Concept originated from the Kyoto Protocol. In a cap and trade, I think that is correct. Kyoto Protocol gave its genesis. Like that. Cap and trade system companies that emit less than their limit can sell their excess credits. Okay. 1 carbon credit is equivalent to the reduction of 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide. However, all this can be correct. That is D. Yes, this is the correct answer. This market-based mechanism encourages industries to invest in cleaner technologies to either save credits or sell them for profit. Who was the first Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court established in 1948? That is Hiralal Kania. That is Chief Justice of Guwahati RF Lodge. That is Sangla. That is D. That was English. Somebody. Chief Justice. That is RF Lodge. Okay. Sir Ronald Francis Lodge was the first Chief Justice of what was not known was the High Court of Assam. Okay. High Court of Assam. Guwahati High Court. Okay. Now High Court. Guwahati High Court. Okay. The Sudarsana Lake mentioned in the Junagadh inscription was repaired and renovated by which ruler? Sudarsana Lake Asuka Rudradaman. That is Sudarsana Lake. Skandagupta Maria. I think Rudradaman 2. 3. Oh, এতে বহুত কেইটা আছে ন using the code given below Sudarsana like mentioned the international inscription was repeat কোনে repair কৰিছিলে ন কোনে কৰিছিলে Sudarsana like Moria that is Asuka Rudradaman Skandagupta I don't know if I don't know then I will go for D Man gote mane renovate korbo niki korok ba nokorok D jok yes D is the correct answer Bapre Sudarsana like Chandrakutta Maurya Asaka Rudradaman 1 Skandagupta all repeat or renovated okay Lake to Sudarsana Chandrakutta Maurya's governor improved by Asaka and later repeated Saka ruler Rudradaman and Gupta Emperor Skandagupta after heavy floods. It was a unique example of ancient Indian irrigation and water management. Okay. Water management regarding Sudarsana Lake asile no. Chandragupta Maurya asile Asaka asile Rudradaman to Skandagupta. Okay. Consider the full statements about Mission Basundhara of the government of Assam. Okay. It aims to streamline and digitize land records and services in the state. It aims to streamline and digitize land records. To হয় digitize kursi land record block mission that is mission was that one of its key components is that settlement of land or indigenous landless families. Mission Basundhara to হয় it has replaced the need for the 33 portal. Mission Basundhara 33 portal to asina নাই মই নাজানো ভাই to replace কৰিছে বুলি 33 portal আগৰ পৰা আছিল নেকি replace the need for to full হবে 1 and 2 only 1 and 2 only Mission Basundhara 1 and 2 only A yes is the correct answer কাৰণ 33 portal to Mission Basundharaৰে হ'ব ন এইটো প্ৰথমত আহিছে যেটো ডিজিটাল কৰিছে যেতিয়া Okay, 3 is incorrect. Mission Basundhara is a focused mission to clean up and provide services, while Dhuritu remains the permanent technical portal for viewing and managing those records. Okay, it's our price here, the permanent technical portal. Our price it not replace one. Mission Basundhara. With reference to the Namaste scheme, the government of India. It aims to achieve zero facilities in sanitation work in India. Achieve zero fatalities in sanitation. Okay, it focuses on the rehabilitation of manual scavengers and provided them with alternative livelihoods. And it is a joint initiative of the Ministry of Social Welfare, Justice and Empowerment and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. I don't know what this is. Namaste. We do Namaste scheme to it aims to achieve zero fatalities in sanitation work in India. However, fatalities যাতে নহয় sanitation worker ক্ষেত্ৰত মানে ড্ৰেইনেজত যদি পৰিমাণো নমৰে সেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আছে It focuses on the rehabilitation of manual scavengers and providing them with alternative livelihoods. Manual to scavenger মানে বস্তুবোৰ তুলি ফুৰা rehabilitation কৰে নেকি হ'ব পাৰে It is a joint initiative of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So do সেনেকুৱা হয় গোটেইকেইটা কাৰক হ'ব D হ'ব yes this is the correct answer একো নাজানো নমস্তে স্কিমটো মানে এইবিলাক জিৰ' ফাৰ্টিলিটি ড্ৰেইনেজ চিষ্টেম হেৰি কৰে মানে চেনিটেশ্যনৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত যিটো ক্লিনলিনেছৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আৰু স্কেভেঞ্জাৰ সেইবিলাককো মানে ৰিহেবিলিটেট কৰে এণ্ড লিভলিহুডৰ কাৰণে কৰে কাম কৰে এণ্ড ইট ইজ এ ইনিচিয়েটিভ ফৰ ছ'চিয়েল জাষ্টিছ ছ'চিয়েল জাষ্টিছকো মানুহক হেল্প কৰাৰ কাৰণে এণ্ড এম্পাৱাৰমেণ্ট এণ্ড মিনিষ্ট্ৰী অফ হাউচিং এণ্ড আৰ্বান এফেয়াৰ্ছ এইটো হেবিলিটেশ্যন দিয়ে সেইকাৰণে হাউচিং এণ্ড আৰ্বান এফেয়াৰ্ছৰ হেৰি কানেকশ্যন আছে অ'কে Namaste National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem aims to ensure that no sanitation worker comes into direct contact with human, that is fecal matter, transitioning the sector toward professionalized mechanized cleaning. Okay, regarding the zoology of Assam, the Cretaceous Paleogene, that is boundary which marks the mass extinction of dinosaurs, has been identified in which area of the northeast. The zoology of Assam or Cretaceous Paleogene boundary marks the mass extinction of dinosaurs, has been identified in which area of the northeast. Um, Meghalaya, that is Assam, the Barak Valley, Majuli, that is Soringkyu River. A hobode karan. Yes. Meghalaya A hobolage. Hoise. That is Soringkyu River. Soringkyu River. Okay. One of the incurrent political Assam, the Soringkyu River in Meghalaya is one of the very few states, very few sites in India where a continuous geological record of the Cretaceous Paleogene, that is KPG, a boundary is preserved, making it globally significant for paleontological research. Okay, paleontological research. Consider the following Pierce National Parks in Assam and unique features. Namiri, known for wide-winged woodduck. Namiri, I think correct. Yeah, correct. Orang, that is known for the mini Kaziranga. Yes. Ramana National Park, Golden Langur, that is correct. Dibrasukha, famous for feral horses. Yes. Namiri to him or all over doubt. Yes. Namiri, wide-winged woodduck. Hobo lage, kutti kita gari hobo lage. All these are correct. That is D. Yes, D. Namiri wide-winged woodduck ito. Dibrasukha, feral horse. Okay. Ramana is 6th National Park and Tingpatka National Park, that is 7th, and Sikhno Zuhunar, something like it, in Kokrazar. Sikhno Zuhular, something, that is 8th number. Totally 8 national parks are there in Assam. The owners of Indian judiciary. What is the master of the roster rule? Master of the roster rule. The power of the president appoints judges to the Supreme Court. The privilege of the Chief Justice of India to constitute benches and allocate cases to fellow judges. Master of the roster, Chief Justice. The authority of the law ministry to set the schedule for vacations. The rule that senior-most judges always hear constitutional matters. Master of the roster. Itu dia honiki. Okay, I will not go there. The power of the president to allow judges. Itu no. The privilege of the Chief Justice of India to constitute benches and allocate cases to fellow judges. Itu hobo lage. Senior most master of the roster Indian judiciary system D2 hobo. Always hear constitutional matters. Privilege of the Chief Justice. Itu to hoy. It's a privilege hoy. The rule that senior most judges always hear constitutional matters. Itu D. Oh, B2 we go. Itu to hoy is anyone. The privilege of the Chief Justice of India to constitute benches and allocate cases to fellow judges. Yes, this is master. No, master means head, supreme. No, so Chief Justice is the supreme. CCI is the master of the roster, while all judges are equal to judicial power. And the CCI alone has the alternative. CCI always alone has the administrative authority to decide which judge will hear which case. Okay. The Durang in medieval history was a buffer region between which two powers. Durang Ahom Mughal, that is the Ahom Emperor Bhutanese, Kosis and Ahoms. Ahoms and Sudis. Sutia more hobo to Sutia and Ahom. But version of Sutia and Ahom. I think Sutia and Ahom. That is D. Oh, Bhutanese or hair. The Bhutan to Sortia. Okay. That is, during this in medieval history was the buffer region between which two powers, that is Bhutia and Ahom. Bhutanese and Ahom. Bhutanese means Bhutia. During Sabt, as a wild frontier, the Ahom kings often appointed a Durang Raja. Durang Raja, Ahom kings appointed Durang Raja from the coast princely line to administer the area, this which coast princely line to administer the area, which acted as a buffer between the Ahom heartland and the Bhutanese hills or Mughal territories. Okay. Which of the following is the correct sequence of the hills of northeast? From west to east. Hills of northeast from west to east. Okay. Garo, that is, I think, west. Yes. Highest, that is Garo. West to east. So, first Garo. Garo at the right arrow Kashi, will you say right arrow Gentia, then right arrow Kashi, Mikir and Patkai. This is the correct Garo was no, I don't know. B and C Hobenore and Garo, then after it Kashi or Gentia. Garo, Gentia. Oh, that is hills, so Garo hills. Then Gentia hills, then Kashi hills. Yes, Garo, then Gentia D. Oh, sorry. Garo, then Kashi, then Gentia, Mikir, Patkai. Okay, I didn't know this one. Incorrect we no? প্রথমতে Gentia, Kashi আছে Garo পিছত Kashi, then Gentia. To Kashi asle. Actually, I don't know this properly, but Kashi is there in somewhere on the border side of Boko or something like that. Oh, Garo, Kashi, then Garo, Kashi, then Gentia. Okay, the Garo, Kashi, and Gentia hills from the Meghalaya Plateau. Further east in Assam is the Mikir Karbi Plateau, and the Mikir Karbi Plateau, and the easternmost border is defined by the Patkai Boom Range. Okay, the reference to the Uniform Civil Code, Article 44. It is a direct principle of state policy and is not enforceable by any court. Itu DBSP hoy and it is not enforceable. Itu hoy. Okay, correct hobo itu. Uttarakhand became the first state in India to pass the Uniform Civil Code in 2024. Yes, this is correct. State of Goa has a common civil code inherited 1887 or prior na Portuguese era pura 1887 na 1887 actually. So this all are correct. That is DDD. D is the correct answer. I don't have to go for further checks. Okay, D is the correct answer. Goa has had a code since 19th century. Okay, 1887 of Brazil. Uttarakhand is the first to legalize post-independence. Okay. The Hindustan Paper Corporation plants at Jagrad and Panchgram were recently at news in Assam to Assam for that is reaching record production level. Their liquidation and acquisition by the state government for development recovery attempt deposits premises, that is green hydrogen hubs. It is reaching record production level. It is impossible. Jagiro Dasileno once were recently news. Their liquidation and acquisition by the state government for redevelopment. Yes. This is correct. Discovery of lithium deposits on the premises known. Converting into green hydrogen hubs. B, that is B. Yes, B is the correct answer. Following the closure of the Noga and Kasser paper mills, the Noga and Kasser paper mills, government of Assam took over the assets to settle that is employee dues and settle employee dues and proposed the land for new industrial ventures. Okay, which Ahom king built temple of Umananda that was Gadadhar Singha built Umanand temple. Yes, that is B. B is the correct answer. King Gadadhar Singha, 1681 to 1696, built the temple in 1694 built কৰিছিলে. It is dedicated to Lord Shiva and is located on the smallest smallest inhabitant the river island in the world. Okay, in the context of last one, in the context of international economy, what does decoupling mean? In the international economy, decoupling means a situation where two countries stop trading completely. Decoupling means yes. Itu হ'ব লাগে where the growth of an emerging economy becomes independent and growth in the process of separating the central bank when two currency is no longer locked in. That is A. Oh, that was B. Okay, itu last two negative হৈ গ'ল ন. Decoupling in the international economy term, that means when the growth of an emerging economy, decoupling when the growth of an emerging economy becomes independent of the growth. Okay, that becomes independent, that has already developed and they don't need to anyone's reliance. Okay, of advanced economies or independent of the growth of advanced economies. Oh, that is decoupling. Means first in the first they recur somebody's couplement means somebody's friendship, some countries friendship, but after they what called capture the independence, means independence of wealth, then they further can advance their economies without needing the partner. Okay, when the growth of an emerging economy becomes independent of the growth of advanced economies. হ'ব পাৰে, but decoupling means to সেইটোৱে হ'ব লাগে ন. Okay, anyways, আজিৰ পেপাৰত কিমান মাৰ্কছ পালোঁ মই এইটো কেলকুলেট কৰিব লাগিব। অলপ কম পোৱা যেন লাগে, তথাপিতো কোৱালিফাই কৰাৰ মাৰ্কছটো পাম নিশ্চয়। এইটো অ'কে, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 37 ইনকাৰেক্ট হৈছে, তাৰ মানে কি হ'ব 36 18.5 নিগেটিভ হ'ব। আকৌ এবাৰ গুণ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 25 26 20 I missed it maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 okay এইবাৰ কেইটা কাৰেক্ট হৈছে 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 63 হ'ব 63 কাৰেক্ট হ'ব 37 ইনকাৰেক্ট হৈছে গতিকেটা যেহেতু এটেম্প কৰিছোঁ 2 3 গুণ 6 আৰু এপিনে 6 গুণ 12 126 হৈছিলে 126 পৰা যদি মই 18.5 মাইনাছ কৰোঁ তেতিয়াহ'লে হ'ব 5 এতে কিমান থাকিলে 15 এতে 15 পৰা 8 গলে 7 আৰু এতে কিমান থাকিল 11 পৰা 1 গলে 10 so 107 today I scored 107 এতে আৰু এবাৰ গুণনো তো 5 এন থাকিলে 5 15 15 পৰা 8 গলে 15 7 11 পৰা 1 গলে 0 1 okay so I scored 107.5 today bye bye everyone bye bye